Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Trade Ideas live trading room for Wednesday, September the 23rd. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Can I get a quick sound check, please? Sure you guys can hear me. Okay, so, well, if you were in the room yesterday, you know that we were watching ACB ahead of earnings. And as always, I'm very skeptical about these cannabis plays. And man, oh man, they released earnings after hours yesterday. Look what has happened. So ACB is basically at an all-time low, just about at an all-time low now. I took a quick glance at their release. I mean, they're just losing tons and tons of money, which, you know, again, startups will do that. But I mean, tons of money. More importantly, I think, though, their revenue forecast does not look great. So anyway, the bets, as I always call it, were being placed ahead of time. Had a little bit of a sell-off at the end of the day, not much. And then, boom, look at this. ACB, you know, just getting crushed on their earnings release. So, another reason why I never, ever hold anything through earnings. I don't care what it looks like ahead of time. Now, there are other things. You know what? Keep an eye on Bed Bath & Beyond, guys. I mean, BBBY still looks pretty interesting. I mean, it had a great day yesterday. Minor sell-off at the end, just a minor one. And it's just above, right at yesterday's highs. Well, it just dropped a little bit now, but almost at yesterday's highs. So keep an eye on BBBY to see if it has continuation. Still has some room if you look at that monthly chart. So what else? A lot of things actually this morning I'm noticing. GHIV, another one of those SPACs popping up this morning, doing a merger with United Mortgage, forming a new company. I don't know when it's going to start trading as UWMC, but that will be the symbol once it starts trading, once the merger is completed, and that is GHIV. VT, or let's call it VT squared. Pulled way back though. Diabetes drug 281 is pulled way back. Nike's putting a charge. Look at this. Huge move up for Nike on earnings. I think I read somewhere where 80% increase or 80+% increase on online sales. Of course, I'm sure in-store sales are way down, but certainly their online business is just up huge. So look at Nike. It's pulling back a little bit from the highs after hours. Yesterday, that's when they released earnings. I actually I actually shorted this one pre-market, WVE. Basically got out no gain at all. I shorted it just underneath 11, I think it was at 1097. Looked pretty good for a bit. Didn't take, got down to 1077, it popped up. The reason it's down is they've done an $11 financing. So, and the reason I did take it pre-market, I mean, it's down, well, 30%. I did not think I'd be able to get it if I wanted to short it once the market opened because of the uptick rule. So anyway, nothing really happened there for me. Here is a little bio, ACIU, big gap down, negative results on their drug trial failed. Big gap down for it. Look at this, down 42%. MNOV. This is now, I think it's been pulling back. It was not shortable for me. Yeah, it's pulling back. Virus play. I almost got this one, but I was just a little bit late on it. SPI. To see if this continues. It's a super low, well, not super low, definitely low. I guess I have to call the super low floats about 2 million under, but anyway, it's certainly a low float, 8.4 million in the float. And they're entering the EV sector. They have some kind of, they're spinning off something. You know, there it goes, in fact. Put a price alert right at the high here, 335 SPI. Almost got it. Where was I looking at it? Right there. 217. Little red bar ignored on the 2-minute chart. But I was just a little slow. I'm looking at your list. No. NSA gap down on a financing. I believe that's a financing. Yeah, $33.15 financing for NSA. Another earnings play. Stitch Fix down on earnings. Big gap down. That's 14% down. SFIX. And on the flip side, JKS, which had a nice run. Financing, I think, here, but not a. Can't remember exactly what the press release was on this JKS, but it's something to do with financing. Anyway, JKS is up on earnings. Big gap up on earnings for JKS. What are the levels right there? So it's 28.83 and 28.95. So you can see right here on the weekly chart, a couple of highs right around where it is now. Takes that out. Look out. ALB, I couldn't see any specific news on it. ALB, it's starting to come back a little bit now though, but it was a gap down. Still is a gap down. I couldn't see any specific news on it. I know they're going to be releasing third quarter coming up. That's the only news I see, but NNOX, again, with the Muddy Waters report, still very weak. NNOX, kind of took a glance at the report last night. RMTI, a small one. RMTI is a gap down on a financing. I almost got this one. Another one I almost got. Financing at $1.51 a share. ZI, look at this one. Yeah, it's still holding. This is it's got the great name, Zoom Info. I mean, piggybacking maybe on Zoom. But anyway, WFC, Wells Fargo upgrade for ZI. ALKS, okay, now it had popped up, but it's right back down, so I guess just forget about that one for time being. Lots and lots of volume. I mean, this is where I saw it. It popped up to 1780 or so, but it's come right back down. Look at the volume. All right, now WVE is now just underneath 11 again. So it's always interesting me, you know, they did a financing at 11. Now, 2 days ago, this stock was up almost at 20. Now, I know they can't exactly pick and choose where they want to do a financing, but man, oh man, you would have, obviously would have liked to have done it more up in this area. I guess they just couldn't get it done. And this is the IPO I'm going to be watching today. This Corsair, CRSR, is IPO today. You have to wait and see, of course, when it comes out. Typically, they come out around 10:30. That's not set in stone or anything, but around 10:30ish. If you have our Halts resumes, though, most of the time you will see it pop up as a resume. And also Sava. I think I have Sava on my list. If I don't, let's see. Sava. Yeah, I mean, it was on my list. I mean, it popped up to $11. It's you know, fading a little bit here. And of course, a interesting day yesterday. It still was above the close, but it did sell off a bit. 11.22 was the high. It closed at around 10.44, so it's a little bit above the close right now, and that is Sava. I saw LAC also, talking about lithium. I see your new Zer Casa. I keep forgetting that it's headquartered in my hometown, Vancouver. Maybe I'll pay them a visit. Yeah, this NNOX is not shortable for me at Interactive Brokers. Tried to rally a little bit yesterday. You can see right there. Man, oh man, remember this was not that long ago. How many days ago? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days ago. This was a $66, $67 stock. Now down to 28. All right, it's 9:16 already, so let me just quickly take a look to see what sort of upgrades and downgrades there are this morning from briefing.com. If there's anything interesting. Yeah, and keeping with the theme, there's still more upgrades, though there are a few more downgrades this morning. So let me see, let me put some of them in here. These are from briefing.com. Deutsche Bank giving Tesla an upgrade. It was pretty weak after hours yesterday. Upgrade for Sava from Wainwright. There's the upgrade for ZI from Wells Fargo. SPI on the move. All right, there are some of the upgrades. I got the downgrades in now. Trying to see if there's anything really interesting on the downgrade side. All right, there are some of the some of the upgrades, some of the downgrades from briefing.com this morning. Tony, that's just something I get from briefing.com. It's a free service, briefing.com. They just send it to my email around 9:10 every morning. Morning, Pete Dono. I don't recognize you, so if you're new to the room, welcome. I think the Tesla event was disappointing because it was pushed out. I think when he was talking about cheaper cars and all that and getting the battery price down, but I think they were hoping it by next year, but didn't he push it out to 3 years or something? Isn't that maybe one of the reasons? 3 years, thank you. So I think they were a little disappointed in that. Super low float, 8.4 million in the float. So anything can happen. It's already This will probably trade the float 4 or 5, 6 times. It's already traded almost 3 times. Pre-market, 2.5 times anyway, in the pre-market. Okay, one moment, please. All right, I was asked to pull up Snapchat. Okay. So nothing really happening. There's a little bit of volume for Snapchat. Huge float. Any particular reason why you want me to pull up Snap? Not really that much volume, and it really hasn't moved. It's a huge float. It's going to take a lot to move it, unless there's specific news on it. I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to get this to move? I mean, it had a great day yesterday, no question about it. Great day yesterday, taking all that out. Look at the monthly chart. The next high looking left is around 27, so it's getting close. So you mentioned BDR. That's that blonder tongue. Yeah, I mean, it had a little spike yesterday. It pulled right back. So the market is going to have a modest open if this holds. Doesn't look, I don't know. And my iPod is still hanging tough. Again, this is my swing trade, guys, from 15.20. I did sell some yesterday at 15.20, and I sold some yesterday at 16.50, and we'll see. CLSK is starting to gap down again, so it is right at yesterday's low, almost. No, it did have a rebound. The low was around 12.40 and it closed at 13.30 or so, almost $1 up. But it is now just at yesterday's low, CLSK. Okay, 9:24. So now I don't have that many in my watch list today. I'm just noticing here it's not a very long list, so I have no idea what's going to happen, what sort of triggers we'll get today. But if you do want to follow along my watch list up and down, from our toolbar, click on New, and then the channel bar, and then where it says Barry's watch list. Again, I have to say this every day, but make sure you save your layout to the cloud before you click on anything from the channel bar. You can only have one layout loaded at a time. So your layout will be replaced. Nothing will happen in these two windows until at least 9:45. This window, you'll get alerts starting usually right at the open. Well, I mean, we talked about Nike, but what are you going to do now? I mean, it's a huge, huge gap up. Starting to fade a bit, but it's a huge gap up for it. Obviously, tremendous reaction to earnings. They had earnings after hours yesterday. The difficulty maybe getting WVE, but I did try this one. As I said, in the pre-market, got in at 1097 on the short. Guess I got a little greedy. Was hoping it got down to 1076. I was hoping for maybe getting down to the 1050, 1060 area. And then it started to come up on me, so I basically got out flat. Took it in the pre-market because it's down 30%. Sometimes very tough to get something that's down over 10% because of the uptick rule. But the financing was done right at $11, so kind of holding in that area. You just do it. I don't know. There's a selection within Interactive Brokers that allows you to do it. Can't tell you what it is. I did it. All my settings that I have got. I mean, I've had the program for 4 years now, but it's got to be a very simple setting within the order entry. Well, it's been kind of all over the place, CLSK. I mean, first it dropped quite a bit, then it popped up. It's pulling back a little bit, but yeah, wins embassy contract, no terms disclosed. That's always interesting. I am intrigued with Bed Bath and Beyond though, BBBY. It's just again right at yesterday's high. A little bit below it. 1416 was the high yesterday, so it's sitting at 1410 right now. See if it has some continuation. Not very much volume yet, but it'll pick up once the market opens. Yeah, I don't know Boston Trader. I can't answer that. I've never had an issue ever trading pre-market. I don't trade very much in the pre-market, but all right. Well, there's WVE on the way down now. Why didn't it do that when I was in it? All right, the market is going to open a little over a minute from now. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of these two. You jumped the gun, William, not quite. According to my computer clock, and now it is 1 minute. Well, let's have a great trading day, everybody. Yeah, lots of shares available at Interactive Brokers for ACIU. Really bad news for this company. Little drug, I think it is I'm not sure what their drug is. It's not a virus, but it's a drug fails their trial. Interesting to see what the open is going to be like. Right now it's basically flat. I mean, the SPY is up just a little bit. Just a little bit. And we're now open. Yeah, so I was asked a question about how the outstanding float shares play a role in price action. Okay, so if you have a very, very low float, which SPI is a very low float, and you have news, whatever that news is, whatever's, some kind of a catalyst, there it goes, look at SPI, then this is the sort of action you have. I mean, if I had $1 billion in the float, you wouldn't be getting this price action, okay? But because it's a low float, the float is basically the supply of stock that's available to trade. So the lower that number, and if there is a catalyst, it could be earnings, it could be, they've announced that they're getting into the EV sector. This is what can cause these ridiculous price jumps. Okay, so that's basically how the float comes into play. All right, look at tough to say, Stitch Fix, SFIX. Look at Stitch Fix, trying to come back here, guys. Look at the volume that is coming in. SPI is not shortable for me at Interactive Brokers. This will run out of steam at some point, but it's just not shortable for me. A lot of people are watching NKLA. It's having a little resurgence. Volume coming in. Of course, another one that's been in the news on the negative side. Okay, ACB now underneath 6. Now again, it might be very difficult to get the short where you want to because of the uptick rule. It's also not, this is not shortable for me at Interactive Brokers. All right, JKS on the move here. Earnings play has had a great run, and it continues an earnings play, taking out this area now. AUIV. Ooh, look at this one, AUIV. So it's at the high of yesterday now, I think. Yeah, just above the high of yesterday now. Look at the room it's got. Again, I don't know. This may be an IPO. I can't really remember. I don't recall it. It might be a symbol name change or an IPO. All right, well, this is awfully choppy still. INO, look at this in the pre-market, got down to 1560 or so. It is now tacked on about $1.30, almost at yesterday's close. Well, you know my feeling about these ones. Now, the only thing I can say about NCLH is at least it's above a 2-day high now. NCLH, one of the cruisers, so I'm sure CCL, I think I saw CCL, I'm sure RCL, maybe the airlines. Let's take a look at American. Yeah, so they're all kind of popping, but you know my feelings on these, they never really hold their gains. At least they haven't. Nautilus NLS. Nautilus, let's see, it's a week high now. I don't mean a week, WEAK, but of breaking the high of last week. Now, I would typically trade in the first 15 minutes, kind of let things settle down a little bit. Yeah, so I do see that the AI had a quick one for ACB. I just can't short it. If you guess that they were going to have horrible earnings, absolutely, or the reaction anyway. But initially with ACB, here were the bets being placed. All right, guys. Well, if you have the AI, there was another one, and that is working really well on the short side. It's early though. Wonder how easy it'll be to get this one real. ACIU down 40%. But I'm with you. Take it underneath 5, but it's had a nice pop so far. Well, it doesn't show in the Halt scanner yet. It won't show until it actually starts to trade. Okay, guys, now this is really one of the. I'm just not a fan of the early AI alerts. I'm flat out just tell you, I'm just not a fan of them. I think it's too early. 9:35. I think it's just too early. You have maybe an opportunity to wait a little bit. Yeah, it's too bad this one wasn't shortable real. SPI. All right, so airlines, my guess is let's take a look at jets. Jets. So this is the ETF for the airline industry, Jets. So if you want to participate maybe in a bit of a rally in the airline stocks, you can try this one, Jets. Yeah, I just find it too early, JB. I mean, this could easily turn into a nice short later on. That's why I don't like trading in the first 15 minutes. All right, so as we speak, the airlines and the cruisers, yes, they are definitely moving. Again, as I said before, the good thing I suppose is taking out the 2-day high for NCLH. Can it hold? CCL is doing exactly the same thing, taking out the 2-day high. Yeah, I mentioned this WKH. I didn't mention it actually, but it is weakening. I saw this in the pre-market. It is weakening. WKHS. Yeah, it's having another it's sort of tagging. It's same kind of theme. Look at play. Kind of the same theme as the airlines, and so any stock company that has problems with people getting together. Well, these stocks are popping right now. So look at play. So the cruisers, airlines, and play on its own. Interesting. The market is not moving at all. Market is, it's just really not moving at all. It's just flatlining so far. Now, guys, as I say, with the lack, it may trigger again. Okay, so there maybe again. Okay, Nautilus, I just mentioned Nautilus a little while ago. NLS, Nautilus continues to move here, getting close to a whole number. Sorry, guys, my bad. I wanted to mention this AMWL. Look at this AMWL. I had it on my list right there. I saw this pop right there. This is an IPO from I guess 4 days ago. Look at it now. Wow, up 20%, huge volume. had my alert set here, the high of 4 days ago. Popped through pre-market. Just forgot to mention it. Twitter had an upgrade this morning. I saw that. Yeah, it is moving. Wow, what a big... I can't remember who upgraded it, but... Boy, with all these moves, you would think the market is just ripping higher, but... so, I mean, the SPY is, it's up a little bit. Dow's up. Tech is down a little bit. But I'm just looking at the SPY right there. I mean, it really hasn't moved. There's Under Armour, as you mentioned. What is the high here? So up 18 almost. Yeah, we'll see. As you guys know, I don't swing trade very often, but this is turning into a pretty good one, the iPod. So the ACB short from the AI is not too bad. The problem is that it's not available for shorts at Interactive Brokers. So if you're using Brokers Plus, you could not short it. Okay, now we'll start watching for some crosses here. NLS, it's not even close to a cross yet, but still strong. NLS. High IQ right here. Look at IQ. Yeah, this is a nice short, but again, unshortable at Interactive Brokers, so that's too bad. Yeah, JKS is super strong still. Tapestry, TPR. Come on, baby. 1520, a couple of days ago, JB. If you were in the room a couple of days ago, you know that I wanted to take this one. This was on a 15-minute chart here. See if I can find it. Makes sense. Yeah, so it was right there. I know it's hard to see, but it was right there. I waited for that pullback. Got it just over 15, where there's the line right there. Did sell some yesterday at 16.50. No, I do one swing trade a year. So, well, look at Steelcase. Steelcase on the way down here. Steelcase, SCS. Oh, this is an earnings play. Release earn, I didn't even see it. No real huge reaction, not that I saw anyway. SCS, maybe the volume was light. Didn't see it. SCS is well, it's a SPAC. And, they had the news. They had the news here. I thought the news was intriguing. I hadn't really I participated in some of these SPACs over the last couple of months. I just decided it looked interesting. The company they're going to be merging with. So I was paying a lot of attention to it. Watched the pullback here in the daily chart, and I just thought, okay, SPACs were getting kind of hot again, so got in. Hey, it's risky, of course, but what do you mean it's showing? You mean it's showing that it's actually trading right now? Again, guys, you want to print this chart out, this daily chart for ACB. Another reason why I never hold a stock through earnings, no matter how good it looks ahead of earnings. I mean, we saw this one. I mean, this was up all day yesterday. A little bit of a pullback at the end of the day, but and then we released earnings after hours, and look at the plunge and continuation. I also have IB News up. Daddy, Daddy. I also have IB News. Look at MJ. My guess is that MJ is just starting to tank here. Yeah, look at MJ. So it's the marijuana index. So CGC. I bet you Tilray is swooning also. Yeah, I mean they're all disastrous sector. All right, there's LAC. There's so many IPOs today. I'm just looking at Corsair right now. Well, not right now. It hasn't opened yet. But look at the market, guys. Putting in a red bar now. I'm just waiting for that one to open. At least it has a little bit of name brand recognition. I'm actually staring at one of the mice that I use. It's a Corsair mouse. So it has some name brand recognition. So I'm kind of interested in that one. When it opens, it's a CRSR. CRSR. It hasn't opened yet. Well, it's up to you, of course, how to trade it. I mean, yesterday was a nice intraday trade. You know, you don't have to hold them. You trade it the way you want to, but certainly when it hit 15, it got almost up to 16. So you have an opportunity to intraday trade it for sure. All right, definitely keep an eye on Cardiff, guys. This is an all-time high now. Cardiff, of course, had huge, big news on this day. It's about 4 days ago. Pulled back, rested, big pop a couple of days ago, maintained, and now it looks like it wants to keep going for a while anyway, and that's the CRDF. Low float, 20 million in the float. All right, now this CLSK is all over the place. You know, I mean, look at the topping tail there, bottoming tail there. This is definitely going to be very erratic today. You know, I wouldn't be touching this even. I know it's on the short side right there. I wouldn't be touching this yet because it's just too erratic. There's a lot of rain out. There's a lot of rain outside. I don't know. There's no plane though, not that I'm aware of. My headset is pretty got the noise canceling on, so I don't really hear very much. Look at CGC. Wow. Well, I mean, it's obviously it's an earnings play, so it'll still be in play, you know, all day. Had a few highs right around 32. All right, now WVE, interesting. I don't know how interesting it's going to be, but it's right on the 200-day moving average, right on it. There it is, 1067. So, you know, I mean, as the reel says, it's an area, but there is the data point for it. So it's right on it. I mean, look at the market. I mean, if it continues to put in another red bar, I mean, NAS is down, SPY is down, Dow is, mildly up. This looks like it's going to be a weak day. So WVE looks like that 200-day moving average is holding so far. Okay, so guys, so the lack, I mean, that's why I was saying I don't like the early trade, but it settled down a bit, and now look at it. Wow, steel case now underneath 10. SCS underneath 10. And it's an earnings play. Wow, look at CGC. Oh, when do they have earnings? They've had earnings already. But look at this. Well, the steel case continues. So let's take a look at where there could be some support. Looking left on the daily chart, the next low looking left is around 947 for SCS. NLS is still pretty strong. NLS is still pretty strong. Look at this, taking all this out on the daily chart. If you look left on the monthly chart, we see some highs of 1738, so it's above that high, and 1730. So, I'm going back to 2017 here, so this is very strong, NLS. Oh, there's no question, Calvin. Yeah, but that was not correct. Did you read the whole article right? Did you read it this morning? Oh no. Well, you should read. Let me see if I can find that. Let me just quickly. Latest Peloton Challenger burns out. So it says Peloton shares fell as much as 6% on Tuesday after Echelon announced an X Prime Smart Connect bike that was developed in collaboration with Amazon. The machine was listed on Amazon's website for $499, a steep discount to the machines offered by Peloton, but has since been delisted as currently unavailable. This bike is not an Amazon product or related to Amazon Prime. Echelon does not have a formal partnership with Amazon. We are working with Echelon to clarify this in its communications, stop the sale of the product, and change the product branding. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know why it's dropping, but definitely. Now, where are my cruisers? NCLH. There you go. I swear all you have to do is watch these cruisers. There was the cross. Actually, I wish I had been watching this one a little more closely. 1582 was the cross. An aggressive move was on the break of the 2 minute right there, the 2 minute EMA. It's like clockwork every day. Steel case continues down. SCS continues its way down. Very interested to see how close it gets to that high or that low right there. Yeah, not many earnings plays, but Steelcase certainly is a brand that a lot of people are familiar with. KBH is an earnings play. KBH Home Builder is an earnings play. Not really much happening. It's down, 3%, but not. And of course, SFIX is an earnings play. After the pop, it is starting to drop. Of course, the ACB earnings play, and JKS earnings play, starting to fade a little bit here. Ooh, almost a cross happening too. The 2 minute. Oh man, if we could all be as happy as my dog. Okay, well, maybe watch for a cross here on the MOS, guys. MOS, especially if the market keeps coming down here. Okay, ACIU now is under 5. Just don't know how easy it would be to get a short on this one. Yeah, watching MOS guys, it's the cross is just well, it just took place right there, 1876 or so. So it's right at that cross. Just give me a second here. No, I really don't know what to do with the iPod. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just distracted there for a second now. What is the MOS doing? Okay, so it's popping up a little bit here. So again, that's the aggressive cross, the 2 minute. Want to be a little more conservative, wait for a 5 minute. All right, so my premise about Bed Bath & Beyond, it did not keep going, so this might turn into a fade now. Well, it already has faded, of course. All right, so I'm going to stick an alert around 1872 for MOS. See if it takes that out again. Looking for a potential short of MOS, especially if the market continues weakening. All right, just checking some of these. So the Cardiff, wow, I mean the Cardiff really took a header though after, I mean it got up to 1233. So that wasn't really a big move, but you could just tell it was very choppy at the very beginning. CRDF. This is I have to stick an alert maybe above the high of 2 days ago. See if it takes that out again. There's a big pullback. Let's say 432 got all the way back down to 324. So I don't know when you took this one real, but maybe on another 4 break. Wow. Cannabis plays are in the toilet. Wink, wink. Look at these. Jeez. Don't know Red Bull or Red. Don't know. Don't know the specific reason. There's nervousness. There was a cross right there, 2043 for Visto, FVSTO. Didn't see it. What is MOS doing? I mean, if the market continues weak, I mean, phosphatic or phosphatic fertilizer manufacturing. Well, there's the VWAP also for MOS, so I guess it's going to have to break the VWAP of 1870. So I'll have to put an alert maybe around 1867 to see if it continues down. It's a big float, so it's not going to, it's going to take a lot to move it. Well, it's doing not well. I don't know. I mean, at this point, there was a little cross there, on the 2-minute chart, but I mean, obviously it didn't move down much. All right, guys, I had to do it. I took some more. I may add on, depends how it trades, but I did take some more off of the APOB at 1740 from 1520. Oops. This market continues like this, and we have to start watching for a lot of fades. All right, LAC is starting to work, guys. I did end up taking, again, I don't, well, I was talking about it earlier, but there's the LAC short. I said I didn't like the early, didn't have to get in at 812 right off the bat. It had a pop up. It back up to 830, probably would have knocked a lot of people out if you did take it at 812. You don't have, you don't have to, don't get so, people get very hung up on not being able to get in at the exact penny of a lot of these AI alerts. My feeling, especially on the early ones, my feeling is that you can wait, see how it starts to trade. Let it settle down a little bit and pick a bit of a direction. It's not been smooth. I had this little pop up here, but now it looks like it is starting to work on the way down. So I mean, I did end up taking this just underneath 8. Again, I don't talk about the, where I'm going to get in. Not fair to those who have the premium service. If I do that, All right, so this is, I don't like these ones that end in the letter U, but this is a IPO, just opened. My guess is probably a 10. Just out of curiosity, anybody with the AI, did you short ACB? And if you did, who is your broker? I would have loved to have shorted that one, but just not available at Interactive Brokers. All right, guys, I'm just watching this market. I'm trying to keep an eye on that MOS. Well, actually, I don't really have to keep an eye on it. I've set my price alert. If it happens, it happens. My price alert is just underneath the VWAP, 1872. There was a cross, but but there was a cross up now too. So it's in kind of in limbo in terms of what to do. Well, of course, it had room to move upwards. It was, it was an all-time high. So, of course, it had room to move upwards. I didn't say it was going to. I just said it had room to move upwards. It's an all-time high. So again, I put up the question: anybody able to short ACB? If you took the short of ACB, and if you did, who is your broker? All right. So TD Ameritrade no go also. Okay. So Fidelity did have shorts. So Interactive Brokers and TDA did not have shorts. What do I mean by a short? Okay, don't do it. Look at UA, guys. Actually, there's a cross up for UAA, a cross up on the 2-minute chart. You know, let's take a look at the market though. If you're going to do these, I'd like to see the market on your side a little bit. So we've got a couple of bottoming tails now in the SPY, the 15-minute chart. In a nutshell, if you're going to go short something, you're betting that you're hoping that the stock goes down from where you shorted. It's just the reverse of going long. So if I wanted to short this one UAA, and I was able to find, if I was able to short it at 11.52, I'm hoping that it goes down. That's how I make money, as opposed to going long and hoping it goes up. Okay, that's just in a nutshell, that's what it is. The problem is sometimes your broker will not have what we call shorts available for you to short, because it requires your borrowing. I didn't get too into it, but it just requires borrowing the shares from your broker. But if they don't have shares to borrow, then you cannot short it. Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, yeah, with the ACB, it would require their searching. But, there's no way I'm going to try, stick around for them to try to find shares for me. So if I don't see a big bright green dot, then I just take a pass. And that's within IB, Interactive Brokers, okay? Well, this is a pretty strong play now. I mean, there is the cross up. So we had the cross down. I think we have then we have the little cross up, but it's, to me, it's kind of in limbo. So, and I'm talking about the MOS. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm just following an email discussion here. WRTC, look at this one on the way down also. Just look underneath the order entry, where you see the symbol. Right underneath, it should say shortable. And if you don't have that, I don't know how to help you. But if it should say shortable, and right beside the shortable, if it's a big bright green dot, means you can short it immediately. If it's a faded green, it means they can do a locate. But I'm not going to hang around to do a locate. And then sometimes if it's a big bright red dot, it just means literally there are no shorts available. Don't even try. All right, guys, I'm just again, I'm following an email, a discussion here. Now, this is definitely one I wish were available at Interactive Brokers to short SPI. All right, guys, sorry about that. Just, okay, watching this Cardiff here, see if it tries to come back a little bit. I have an alert set at 1187. Yeah, I'm sure there's a more, shall we say, professional way of doing it within IB. I just find, I mean, I just have it underneath the order entry. I can tell immediately. But I'm sure you're right. You can create a watch list of stocks and somehow. All right, so I do see ACET again. This is gap down. So now I want to see if it regains 1389. With the market moving like this, guys, so long plays are going to be suspect right now. I mean, look what the market's doing. So now everything is negative. Remember, the Dow was positive, and SPY is definitely negative now. How do you delete a saved alert? You're talking about a price alert? Okay, so I'll just bring up my price alerts window. Well, you can do it one of two ways. So if you see it on the screen, we put a price alert right here. Okay, create a price alert. So there it is. If I want, I can just, I go up to it. Once the icon changes, left click, delete. Now there's another step. It wants to make sure. Okay. So that's one way of doing it. Okay. Easier way is this then, if you're trying to clean up your price alerts window. If you want to get rid of them all, you just highlight them all. All right. Highlight everything, right click, delete. Or, of course, you can pick and choose which ones you want. Okay, just by left click, just basically just left click or left clicking or highlighting it and then right click and then you get the delete. Okay? Is it over 500? Jeez. It is insane. No words, you're right. All right, so on the downside, wow, look at GP. This is a Vancouver company, I think. Yeah. They're in the EV sector, just getting whacked here. Okay, Green Power Motor drops after Mariner Research warns on significant downside. Negative report. So another short seller just basically collapsing a stock here. Yeah, like most, like an Excel or things like that. Yes, so you can, if you just want to pick and choose. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, pick and choose which ones you want. Was that out at, okay. I see at, yeah, 10 o'clock. I do see it at 10 o'clock, yes. Where did we have it? I don't have a time here, but so this is now, it looks like an IPO, but this was a Canadian, it was listed on the Canadian exchanges. And so this is when it started trading on NASDAQ. Okay, so it looks like an IPO, but it really isn't classically an IPO. Whoa, 10:39 already. Yeah, what a morning. What a morning. Okay, if you are new to this trading room, welcome to the trading room. This is the format, Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Live on the mic, sharing my screen. If you have trade ideas, I am sharing a lot of scans. You can click on the scans tab. Oh, I just saw a pop for ACET, guys. There was the alert, 1389. I see it's at 1423 right now from my watch list. So I'm sharing a lot of, wow, it's really moving now. I'm sharing a lot of scans. You click on the scans tab, here they all are. You can also access them. Now, if you're in the YouTube feed, when you logged in, signed up this morning, logged into the YouTube feed this morning, you'll see a lot of links. Those are all the scans that I'm sharing. You can also access those scans from the Room Drive icon, scans that I share, download. They'll go to a Word document. You can then pick and choose which ones you might want to take a look at. All you have to do is copy the link and then File, Load from Cloud. It'll appear right in here. Load it. And as always, I call these templates, okay? These are, I have a certain price range and share volume, etc., that I like. But if you load this one, for instance, you might say, well, you know what, I like a different price range. So you can always go in, configure, right click, configure, summary. You'll see what I'm using. You can always make a change. You might have a different idea about a price range you want. So, but if you don't make any changes, make sure if you do like the window, save it to the cloud. Right click, save or share to cloud, save, okay? So if you make changes, do it. If you don't make any changes, I'm just trying to emphasize the fact that you should save individual windows to the cloud, as well as your overall layout. Links. I'm going to talk about all these links are in here also. You can also download those links right here, links. Again, they'll go to a Word document. I want to talk about a few of the links right now. Oops. Just a second here. Give me a moment here. Just made a mistake on. Here we go. All right, so you'll see right there, there is a promo code. Look at ACET. So there was the alert. It paused, and look at this now. A nice rip from 1389 got up to 1442. All right, if you want to take out a subscription to Trade, wow, look at it now, guys. What a winner! 1389. What did it hit? Almost $15. Okay, I'm just listening to it over and over and over again. Okay, so if you want to take out a subscription to Trade Ideas, this is the promo code, Barry for Alpha, 15% off the first month only. But I would click on my home page right there, that link, and that'll bring you also to there it is, Barry for Alpha, 15% off the first month only, or the entire year. You click on Get Trade Ideas, and here are the plans that we have. We have two plans, a premium and a standard. Here's on the annual basis. Premium is $22.68 a year minus 15%, or the standard $10.68 a year minus the 15%. The huge difference is the AI. So there are some other subtle differences, but if the big reason for taking our premium service is because you want to have access to the AI, which I will go over. You do not have to start off with an annual plan. You can always try us out on a monthly plan. Standard monthly is $118, less the 15%. Premium is $228, less the 15%. And remember, that discount's only good for the first month. But at any point, if you want to upgrade, we'll honor that 15% promo code. Upgrading either from standard to premium or from monthly to an annual plan. Other links from my homepage. Trade of the Week is sent to you before the market opens every Monday morning. I do a daily video, kind of a recap up to what's happening in the room up to the point I do the video. Usually do it around 1:05 Eastern. All of the webinars and education, I keep saying this on the weekend, I promise. I'm gonna get rid of this link or add another link, because this is basically just duplicate. I want to put this one into the room. Okay, the 20 short lessons. I put that link on its own. I think it's a very valuable link. If you're just starting out with trade ideas, you can click here also. 20 lessons in 20 days. So this is what it looks like. It's all text-based, going over some of the basic features of trade ideas to get you started. You know, what is a top list? What is an alert window? How to create them? If you don't have trade ideas, it's, you know, you can take a look at this also, and you can see some of the basic features that we offer. Going down, the daily support session. So from, excuse me, I moderate the YouTube feed between 9 and noon. And then one of the other traders takes over between 12 and 1. Today is Wednesday, so I think it's Michael Noss who will be in the YouTube feed. So if you are interested in trading using our Brokerage Plus, and if you have an Interactive Brokers account, today's the day to go into the YouTube feed and ask him questions. You know, so you can join the live support. You can. I'll also post the link before I take my break, just before noon Eastern. I'll post the link for the YouTube feed. Of course, there's the room, the trading room. And more, the daily webinars, you can sign up for the daily webinars. Today is Wednesday. This is the one that I help out on, text-based. I'm not on the mic. Today's daily webinar, the Wednesday webinars, is the Q&A with Dan and Brad, co-founders of Trade Ideas. And then also keep scrolling down, more educational videos, okay? So it's a great link, in my opinion, for a lot of education, webinars, etc. Now I do want to talk about the AI. Okay, so this is what the AI is all, I'll say it, about. What it's all about. We have what we call 50 baseline strategies, and the AI runs through an optimization procedure once the market closes. So it has access to the latest market data, runs through this optimization routine, and that's what happened last night once the market closed. And it ran through all 50 of the strategies. Yeah, Dan and Brad are on the webinars on Wednesdays, Dan, yes. I'm just answering a question on YouTube. So these are the strategies that made the cut. Making the cut typically with a win percentage of at least 60% and a profit factor of 2. So these are the strategies that made the cut. Tomorrow we don't know which ones are going to make the cut, because it will run through the optimization procedure again using the latest data. So this is what I would do if you have our premium service in order to watch the alerts as they come in every day. I would click on New from the toolbar and click on AI/Holly Strategy Trades window, the Trades window version, okay? You do that, and these are the alerts that you'll see the alerts as they come in. You have an entry price. It's a real-time entry. You don't have to get in right at the the penny. You can wait for it to trade a little bit to see if you like the setup. You have a stop price, and you can manage the trade as you see fit. So, for instance, as mentioning the LAC, don't like the really early alerts. Let it settle down a little bit. The alert was at 8:12. Let it settle down a little bit. It broke down through 8 again. That's when I took the short. And it's working pretty well on a percentage basis. Again, I don't talk about, I'll talk about the AI alerts after the fact. I will not display them during, the market or during the course of the day. Just not fair to those of you who pay for our premium service if I do that. So that is the AI. This is Brokerage Plus. Hate the name, but I'll go over it. I wish we could change the name to something else. But anyway, click on New, Brokerage Plus. And this is your window that'll pop up. Now what I'm going to talk about is all part of our standard service. If you wanted to trade from within Trade Ideas, right now you need an Interactive Brokers account. You would connect to your Interactive Brokers account, and then you can trade using this Brokerage Plus module from within Trade Ideas. In order to do that, this is a great video that the aforementioned Michael Noss did. Again, he'll be on the YouTube feed between 12 and 1. Watch the video. It'll show you exactly how you can use Trade Ideas and Interactive Brokers to trade. Brokerage Plus and Interactive Brokers to trade, okay? For a lot of you though, if you're starting out in the market, I would 100% recommend that you use our simulator, Paper Trader, all right? All you have to do is click on it. It uses our real-time data, so it doesn't matter what brokerage account you have, it's using our real-time data. Very, very simple to use. Wow, how quick was that? We had to be really quick on this AC. What's the spread like? Yeah, the spread wasn't terrible, but boy, you had to be quick on this ACET. But what a great alert though. You know, it even rested a bit before it took the big over dollar pop. All right, so in order to do paper trading, simulation trading, it's very simple. You just click on an alert. You notice a symbol shows up. You can pick how many shares you want to trade. Get in at whatever price you want to get in at. If you are shorting, then you sell. Click the sell button. If you're going long, you click the buy button. So let me just demonstrate how you can do this. Now you can also set it up so that you can do what I'll call conditional buys. Let's just say, for instance, you wanted to buy ACAT down here on a huge pullback. You know, you can easily set that up. So if you wanted to buy ACET down here, I'm just going to demonstrate how you can do it. I mean, I'm just using this as an example. So let's say you wanted to buy ACET at 1320. So you would just put it here. WVE making another leg down. Come on. Okay, so I want to buy 200 shares at 1320. So a conditional buy order. So you can see it appeared on the chart right there. See that dark blue line? So if it got down to 1320, it would take the trade. Now, if you wanted to adjust it, either up or down, if you wanted to take the trade immediately, you would just basically plunk it right on the current price. Or you can leave it there. Okay, so that's how you can create a conditional buy order. You could have done the same thing if you wanted to take it at the high of the day for whatever reason, or a price that's above it. You would just put those two prices in here and click the buy button, and you would see the blue line would appear up here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Just go into the order section. Cancel the order. Okay, so I just canceled it. I just wanted to demonstrate how you can put conditional buy orders in. Now let's take a trade. So we'll take SPI, okay? We'll just take it. We'll go in at the market because it's only a penny spread, so I can go into the market. Took the trade at 453. Always have a stop. Now this, I could get stopped out very quickly here, but I'll put a stop at 438, the low of that 2-minute candle. More aggressively way down here. But again, before you enter a trade, you should always know where your stop is. That'll determine how many shares you're going to take. I'm just demonstrating how you can do it. So I'll put a stop down here, okay? It'll be a very wide stop, 416. So I can add the stop right now. Again, this is just demonstrating how you do this. So you see the stop has been placed right on the chart, that red line. So if the price went down to 416, it would take me out for a $73 loss. I can put a target. I can add a target if I want. Say $5. You're going to see that will show up right in the chart. So now you've got a couple of lines. So if you allow this to run in, call it auto mode, and the price moves down to 416, you'll be taken out for a $73 loss. If it moves up to 5, you'll make $95, okay? Now these lines are movable. So you can use this like a trailing stop. If it starts to work well, the trade starts to work well, you can start moving your stop up. Moving the stop up on areas on the chart that make sense. You know, you might see a support area on the chart, so that if it broke down below that, that's where you should get out. Same thing with the target. Obviously, you can move that. If the trade really starts to work well, why would you get out at the target? Or let's say it starts to approach 5 and it starts to drop. You can always move your target down and you can take yourself out of the trade. Now you don't have to use the chart to do all this. Of course you can just do it right here. Okay? So if I wanted to trade 100 shares right now, I could just put 100 in here, pick the price. If I want to get out of the trade right now, these are hotkeys. You know, I just highlight the trade, highlight it. I could flatten it. I could get out a half, or I could double. Okay, so that is, so I encourage you, you know, I can't tell you how much I encourage you to practice trading before you commit money to the market. You know, I mean, I say this all the time. I mean, if you cannot make money paper trading, you will not be able to make money in the market, okay? Because all of a sudden when you have your money committed, so many more emotions come into play. Now that is not to say that if you can make money paper trading that, you know, it's a guarantee, because when you start putting money on the line, it gets very, very much more emotional. You know, you're seeing your P&L whip up and down and it gets very emotional. So that's why we always say, you know, the discipline is to have a stop and obey it. Don't start second guessing your stop. You put a stop in, and if it you know, hits the stop price, get out of the trade. Don't start to second guess and say, maybe it was a little too tight, so I'm going to lower it. So, you know, if you've been risking $100 on the trade, now all of a sudden, you know, it keeps going lower. Now you're down 200. And you still don't get out. Now you're down 300. You know, I mean, you can see how this can work. So have a stop, get out if the stop hits. It's that simple. You can always get back in, you know, maybe you were a little early on the trade. Well, the buy alerts are from, no, this has nothing to do, what you're seeing here, Tony, has nothing to do with the AI. This is the AI right here, this window that I don't display, okay? Those are the AI alerts. If you're seeing buy alerts on the chart, you know, on a daily chart, higher time frames, that just means that it was alerted sometime in the past from the AI. So you can kind of check to see how well it did do, you know, as a potential swing trade. Now, two columns that I like to have up are the max P&L and the distance from the exit price. I like to see these because what this tells me, so right now you see these are the same basically, 43.02. That means it's right at the high, basically almost right at the high. Now it just dropped a little bit. So from where I got in at 453, at the high, you know, I would have been up $43. You know, right at the very, very high. So if it started to drop, it is not a good example yet, you'll see it, because I'm going to let it drop. See if it drops. Well, let's just say for argument's sake I get out and I only make $10, okay, on this trade, whereas the max I could have made was 45. So obviously my exit wasn't great. Wouldn't have been great. I'm not saying you can get out right at the, the top penny or anything like that, but you'd like this to be fairly close. Or certainly you don't want to watch something that you're up $150 in and then turn it into a loss, as an example. All right, so there's an example. I also like the distance from the exit price. This tells me, and I can tell right off the bat, yeah, the problem here, okay, this is actually a good exit. Okay, this is positive because this was a short. Okay, so where I got out, it's 50 cents away. Now remember, this is a short. So I got out at 734. It's now at 784. So this is telling me that I did a good job at getting out of that short. Now, if you went long and you saw, what you want to see is a nice big negative number, because that's telling me, there's the SPI, not bad on taking that one. So just to show you how you do it, if you want to get out of the trade, you just flatten the trade. I don't know if I clicked on it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at this 200, but the position is 0, so sorry. So there I am. So I'm sorry. I was looking at this, wondering why this is still 200. So there's my position 0. Okay. So I flattened the trade, got out. And now we're going to see. I mean, it's would I have done that? No, I would have kept in this trade. But just demonstrating how you can get out of a trade. And now we're going to see. On 10 cents. Now it is just ripping higher from where I got out, 26 cents. So this is telling me I had a horrible exit. Okay, I mean right now it's got to catch up a little bit. But this gives you a good idea, about how good are your exits. All right, guys. So CAPR, take a look at CAPR. Okay, guys. So I'm sorry. I'm just so the SPI again. So 66 now cents away. So this is I find this a very good gauge. If you're new to trading, this is going to show you how well are you managing your exits. Okay. Anyway, poor. Sorry, I saw you talking about poor. Yeah, well, there was a cross right there, 35.80 odd, and it got down to 35. That would have been nice. It's out of the price range I usually like, but that's okay. That would have been okay. Yeah, I would like to be able to short that one also. It's a locate. Corsair, CRSR. Somebody said it was coming out at 11:10, so that might be in the next minute or so. If it happens at 11:10, I mean, there's nothing set in stone on any of those. It's an estimate. But what time is it right now? Well, it's 11:10. I don't see it. So somebody asked in the YouTube feed, can't remember who it was, but they wanted me to explain float situations and why a low float. What is the? Why do we even look at the float? What's the relevance of the float? So this is a classic example of the relevance of the low float. No, nah, I don't think I'll do the house analogy. Unless I get a show of hands. But the lower that number, just think of it, this is the supply of stock that is available for trading, okay? So 8 million shares, that is very low. The lower that number, if a stock is in play for whatever reason, if there's some kind of a catalyst, so they had a press release saying they're getting involved in the EV sector, and so traders have hopped on this. So the demand is high and the supply is low. This is why you get these crazy moves. You know, if the stock had 1 billion shares in the float, it would not be doing this. So now you can see that that was, as we speak, a horrific exit. You know, we're $1.20 from my exit. But again, this is just demonstrating, you know, the power of using our simulator. I'm surprised it wasn't halted. Okay, so this CAPR has a little bit of room. A little bit of room. If you look left on the daily chart, you see that 661 or so is the next high looking left. So I'm going to set an alert for, where was the alert? 605. I'm going to set an alert. Well, right there, because it's the high of the day. 605. See if it takes it out later on. Another low float, 19 million. If these are low floats, people ask, well, what do I consider? You know, anything under 20 million is really a low float, in my opinion. You know, and obviously the lower that number, the better if a stock is in play. How do you find the AI exit strategy? Well, there's a stop price. There's always a stop price, Jake. Okay, so the AI will always exit if the stop gets hit. And also, all of these strategies, typically they all have a hold period. You know, you see a time stop right there. So all of these strategies have, you know, a certain hold period. You know, some of these are right to the end of the day if the stop has not been hit. Here's 2 o'clock. Here's one for 2 hours. Okay, so for instance, in this one, the breakout long, I don't even know if there was one from there, but if after 2 hours, so if the AI got into a trade from this breakout long strategy, and after it would exit the trade after 2 hours, no matter what the stock was doing, it could be still ripping higher. That's why we always say, you know, you should, you know, man a machine, you know, let the machine alert you, but, you know, I think to maximize benefits from the AI is to, you know, use your head. I mean, if a stock is still moving well, why would you get out? Just because the AI is saying, well, I'm going to get out after 120 minutes. And then there are some other algorithms that kick in. You know, for instance, if a stock, let's just say for argument's sake, it took Capri here and it popped way up here, then it started to drop and it hadn't yet met, you know, obviously it hasn't been stopped out, and it's before, say, the hold time, an algorithm may kick in called a profit save, saying, you know what, we better take some profit on this. And that's just an algorithm that is, look at SPI, holy smokes. It's getting worse and worse. My exit. Even there on a red bar ignored, it's 587. Bentley Systems, okay, BSY, did not show up. As I say, it's not 100%, but I would say 90% of the time, 90% of the time, it'll show up as a resume, an IPO. This one didn't. Well, right at 9:30, $4 SPI from the new highs. Yeah, it just got halted. And WVE on the way down now, really collapsing off that $11 financing. So the market is indeterminate right now. Let's take a look at the SPY on the 15-minute chart. So you see, I mean, look at these bottoming tails and topping tails. So kind of directionless right now. I mean, the direction is essentially down, but you see these bottoming tails and topping tails. Buyers and sellers are really struggling here, fighting each other. IGT showing up here, guys. IGT now showing up. Wow, underneath that whole number. Look at this move. I don't think I saw this one. Look at this move now. Underneath the whole number. Now, can't take it now. I mean, you're in chase mode, but let's just see if it can rest a little bit underneath 11. Maybe pop up a little bit and then move back down. Maybe get a green bar ignored. Yeah, this is not going to show, similar because what they're saying they're doing is creating an EV sector within there or an EV division. I think that's what it said. I mean, it's a great press release. SPI is halted. Yes, well, just opened. No, sorry, did not open. No, PEC. No, PEC just, no, I haven't seen this one for a while. Remember these days, guys? This day right here, it's terrible actually. I mean, it popped up to 562, but it sold all the way down to 410, continued down. But PEC, look at PEC, PECK, just got halted, PECK. Okay, so SPI, if it is a 5-minute halt, will open at 11:22 plus 25 seconds, so a little less than a minute if it is a 5-minute halt. Oh yeah, I mean it's nonsense. It is absolute nonsense. But you trade the nonsense on the day of. Don't marry it. Okay, so SPI. So fine. Yeah, something's going on here. It should not have. They should not have. It actually should not have alerted right there at 696. 460 new highs though. Keep an eye on ALKS, guys. Looks like there is a cross trying to form here. ALKS. Well, let's see if SPI gets halted again. Pretty good volume. When I think in the pre-market this had traded about 20 million, and I was saying, it's already traded. This will probably trade at least 4 or 5 times the float. I was only wrong. Probably this will be trading 20 times the float easily by the end of more. I mean, 20 times 8 is 160. So I mean, it is going to be. This could be 30 times the float by the end of the day. Yeah, well, let's see what happens when PEC opens. It'll open. Looks like it'll open right at 11:26. What time is it now? Right now, it just opened. It just opened. So again, if you're wondering how I can be so accurate, yeah, I don't have a crystal ball, but look where PEC got halted. 11:21:00. These are typically 5-minute halts. So there it is, 11:26. You see the SPI, 11:17 plus 25 seconds, 11:22 plus 25 seconds. So this is our Halts resumes. And if you want it, it's right here, scans, one of the scans I'm sharing, or click on the room drive icon, scans that I share. It's one of the, in download, one of the scans that I'm sharing. It's still working very well is JKS. Look at JKS. A little bit choppy, but it's just continuing a great earnings play. I don't know where any resistance is. How far back on the monthly chart do I have to go? Back to 2015 and back to, who cares? September of 2014 are the next highs. So, who cares? This is, for all intents and purposes, I mean, there's no resistance. but it's right back up. It is right back up. PEC is right back up. So if you look left, 564, that's the next high looking left. I don't see any specific news on it. Anybody find news on PEC? Look at the market now, guys. Also, remember I was saying it was chopping around. This looks like it's no more chop. So I'm still in the lac short. No big reason to get out. LAC short from the AI. So again, three nice ones from the AI. I can show them now. I mean, there, if you could have got the short or ACB, and there's a short for LAC, and then going along JKS, 6%, 6%, 5%. Not too many trades. Let's put an alert down here. Now 750 might be the little bit of a stumbling block for LAC. Looking left on the daily chart, we still have room down to about a little over $7. Looking left. All right, let me just take a look at PEC. It's, you know what? I mean, it's kind of holding. Yeah, it had the drop once it opened, but let's just stick an alert here at 451, because you know these traders got all excited about something like this. I am just looking. There's just no news. I mean, at least, you know, no matter what you think of the news, there was news for SPI. Okay, there, another low, new low for LAC. By the way, this is the price alerts, and you notice how it popped up on my screen? I set the alert for 753 for the LAC. It popped up on my screen. You know, I think that's, to me, that's the way to, you don't have to stare at your price alert window all day long. All you have to do is minimize it. Just use the minimizer. Set your alert, and when an alert happens, it'll pop up on your screen. You can put a price alert on it, or sorry, an audible alert on it. Play the sound, just follow the instructions here. So you'll hear it. And it also, if you sort on the triggered column, you know, so you'll see the one that triggered the last right at the top. I think that's a great way to use our price alerts window. Okay, SQM on the way down. Wow, look at this. What a daily candle here. Didn't really see this one in the pre-market. Really didn't have that much action. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's the pre-market. Maybe the volume was really low. Didn't really see it. Yeah, even a more expensive one from the ALB, 84 on the alert, 82.77 now. I mentioned this one in the pre-market. Didn't really see any news why it was down, but look at this little red bar right now on the 5, the 2, the 15, of course on the daily. Might be coming into some support area around, around that 82 mark. So if you took that short from the AI, you might just be watching that 82 mark. So definitely a delay in somebody said that they thought Corsair, CRSR, IPO today would start trading at 11:10, but obviously delayed. CGC after a, well, no, that's no pull up at all. Big base for CGC. Now a drop below 15. Look at this daily. There's a cross actually, yeah, on the 2 minute. 35.84. Meanwhile, LAC continues down. If you took it from the AI, that's 7.3% now. Well, how do you spot a ticker before it pops? I mean, you really can't. I mean, there is what we do in the pre-market is kind of looking for stocks that are active in the pre-market and kind of following them. And if they base a little bit, there's no guarantee that a stock is going to pop. So your question is, it's sort of impossible. You cannot know for sure that a stock is going to pop. What we try to do, though, if a stock pops at a consolidation, I mean, and if it's active, lots of volume, lots of relative volume, maybe there's news, the possibility is that it could keep going. So you're not going to be able to know ahead of time that a stock is going to pop. For instance, the PEC. I mean, I'll use this as an example. Let's just say it based here for a while. Well, we know it has, it had the pop. Maybe if it bases and it takes another little pop here, well, that pop from there could get it to continue. As an example. But to know that this was going to pop right here, no, there's nothing. Nothing is going to tell you. There's no scan. Nothing is going to tell you that right there it was going to do this. I wish there were. Great alert, guys. 812. Not in at 812, just under 8. 745 now. Almost 8%. Okay, what indicator are you talking about? Welcome, by the way, from India. What indicator are you talking about? A new indicator. I'm glad you got out of that JKS short, William. It looks still pretty strong. All right, guys. What time is it? 11:40. So I will be taking my break in about 15 minutes or so. And again, I would encourage you that if you're wanting to use Brokers Plus and you have an Interactive Brokers account and you want to, use Brokers Plus and your IB account to trade using this window, I would encourage you to go into the YouTube feed at noon, from noon to 1. Just want to get a clarification that Michael will be in the YouTube feed. He's definitely knows, I'll call him, well, there's no question, he's our expert in terms of using Brokers Plus and Interactive Brokers to trade. Well, that was crazy, crazy action on that ACET. Lots of, it just took off and then it just collapsed. Yeah, I don't have the 20 EMA. I have the 20 SMA. I don't have the 20 EMA on my charts. Um, what time frame you talking about anyway, Donnie? No, 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 no. They what 2 minute, 5 minute? What chart time frame? 2 minute? Okay. Well, it definitely touched the 20 SMA, not the EMA, but it definitely touched the 20 SMA. Well, one of my favorites from the past, Forum Merger. It's been hit hard actually. FMCI, another SPAC, it's been hit quite hard. $28 down to 22 in 3 days. All right, guys, I have covered some of the lack. Okay, as it got all the way down to 745, just underneath 750. I've covered some of it. And that is from the AI. Was in at 797. It's covered some at 748, so almost 40 cents, 50 cents, sorry, on $7. Okay, so India, I don't know if you heard me. Okay, yeah, so Michael is on. Okay, guys, so Michael is on at noon, from noon to 1 in the YouTube feed. So get your questions. You're interested in using Brokerage Plus, an interactive broker. Well, LAC is now just really turning into a delicious trade. I took some out right there, right underneath 750, but all right, so somebody asked about exits for the AI. So just to let you know, there was an example of the algorithm kicking in, okay, because the AI got out of this trade right here, okay, on this move here. Thought, okay, you know what? We got in at 812. It's now 750. It's starting to pop. Now, did it know this was going to happen? Of course not. But I didn't get out because of the algorithm told me. I got out because I'm always aware of that the 50-cent level. Usually, I think the 50-cent level is can be a bit of a stumbling block. Stocks underneath $5, but I decided to take some out, but I still have some left. Whereas the AI is out of the entire position. So an algorithm kicked in when it saw this little move. About the IB, yeah. Okay, now look at AVDL. Look at this potential support right there, 519. Look at the daily chart. Look at all the action right there. Now, will that hold? AVDL. This is being thumped right now, down almost 10%. Pretty good volume. All right, guys, I am going to put the YouTube link into the room. Okay, so there is a YouTube link, and that'll get you into the YouTube feed, and Michael will be there at noon. Again, if you're interested, I mean, you can. He's a great swing trader too, so it's not just about interactive brokers and Brokerage Plus. So you can ask him a lot of questions, but especially if you're interested in Brokerage Plus and trading, using it to trade. Lack. Wow. So I mean, we've had this is big 3 down days now. This could be where it's going to hold around 715, just over 7. If you're in this one, but this is a classic example of not having to take the trade immediately. I mean, I've made my point many times. I'm not a big fan of the, early AI trades. 735. So look what happened. We got the alert, and then it popped right back up. And then the second time, it took out the alert, and I waited for the 8 break, and it was gold after that. Well, if you're running, are you running an auto fashion, Jake? Because it exited in conservative mode. Okay, there's conservative. Well, it's also a timed exit. Sorry, it is a timed exit. Really, I'm surprised actually. I didn't think that they had a. I thought they were. Let me just see something here. Oh yeah, it's 120 minutes. So, in conservative mode, it was a breakdown short. That was the strategy that lack. So it was a 2 hour hold. Doesn't mean you had to get out of the trade. So that was in conservative mode. Getting out exactly when the AI got out. So if you're auto trading it, you probably have it in moderate, which means you'd still be in the trade. That's my. Does that make sense? WVE continues down off that. That's getting pretty devastating now off that $11 financing. You're about 10% down below it. So Jake, did that make sense? Okay, I don't know. Can you hear me? And the market continues down now. So we had that red bar, pause, another red bar down. Big candle now for WVE. Next area down here, maybe 9 is going to hold it. So if you're looking for bounce plays, so, look, if the market continues like this, bounce plays, you might get some bounce plays, but they probably won't be that great. Okay, so you probably then, Jake, you probably have it in moderate. You don't have it in conservative, right? If you have it in conservative, then you're getting out exactly when the AI gets out. So you have probably selected moderate. You know, your trading strategy, you have probably, where is it, risk management. It would help if I got onto the AI. Okay. Yeah, so you have probably got it on conservative. I'm sorry, on yeah, I'm sorry, on moderate as opposed to conservative, right? We don't have a date fixed yet. I can give you a link. I'm not sure when the next test drive is going to be. Almost guarantee it won't be next month, maybe sometime in November. But I'll give you a link. Okay, Michael, just a second. So I'll give you a link and you can fill out the form and then you'll be notified exactly when the next test drive will start. Okay, Rakuten. Okay, guys, Michael is in the YouTube feed, so I'll stop my feed now, my stream.